One of Spain's biggest gaming websites says that God of War Ragnarok DLC will be unveiled in the next 2 months. He says that he was able to contrast and corroborate the information in such a way that he can say it comes from a reliable place. He doesn't know if it's going to be unveiled via a trailer, teaser, or at a big show, but he speculates that it could be at the Game Awards. Okay, let's see. So this is Google translated, so we'll see how accurate it is. But exclusive, the God of War Ragnarok DLC is real and would be announced at the end of this year. Let's see if they have details. Yeah, at first, all the rumors pointed to Sony Santa Monica creating a DLC for God of War Ragnarok, but the latest leak suggests this expansion could become a complete medium-sized game like Miles Morales was with regards to Spider-Man, for example. Of course, it's unknown what this DLC would be about or how big it would be, so we can only wait for PlayStation to make a statement regarding these rumors. So all there is that they're saying it is a thing and that it's going to be announced soon-ish. I don't know how much weight to put into this. I've never heard of Aria Jongon. I don't know anything about them, but maybe. I mean, the thing is with this, if it ends up being true, awesome. If it's a lie, everybody's going to forget and nobody will know. You know, I really don't know what to do with it. I mean, there's people in the comments of the subreddit, considering Eric Williams said we're not getting DLC, this is probably a one-off Atreus game to tie up plot threads. Yeah, he said no DLC, but a spin-off game I think could still fit in with it. And I think that when you play Ragnarok, a spin-off game feels very likely. It just, I mean, they built so many different systems that they don't use a lot. So I think it would make sense. Yeah, Lost Legacy or Miles Morales, I think that also makes sense. DLC, yeah, I don't think that they'd do that, but especially if they can charge 40-50 bucks for a spin-off game, why wouldn't they just do that? It only has to be 10-15 hours and they can justify that. Let's see, does this site have a good track record? The site leaked the past correct PlayStation Plus lineups, but there's a huge difference between leaking service updates and a whole ass project. Yeah, I mean, that's true. What's left, it wrapped up pretty well. I mean, Atreus, they leave on an actual cliffhanger. Like, he's standing next to a cliff when he leaves. So I think that could be a layup. I just hope it's not Atreus. He's fine paired with Kratos, but solo, he just isn't interesting. Now, Freya is someone I could get behind. She had way better chemistry with Kratos and had fantastic arc over the 2 games. Seeing how they could do magic-based combat system would be great to see. I don't think that they're spinning him off. Yeah, I think they probably pair him with Thrud. That's a good idea. So we'll see. I mean, but there's no details. If they offer details and they're like, it's a spinoff with Atreus where you're partnered with them doing this, and they give some specificity, then I'm interested. But this is the kind of leak where there's no specificity. So it's just like, what does any of this mean? Like, it could be a DLC. It could be a spinoff game. It could be a hint of a sequel. Any of those things could qualify, and these people could claim that they were right. Like, I just want details. Yeah, granted, it's a rumor, it's not technically a leak, but still, I would prefer some more specificity. I think Atreus gets to Egypt before Kratos. I mean, maybe what I would expect them to do, honestly, if they're going to do a spin-off, I think they probably do one like they do Atreus's thing in the Norse setting with some bigger boss fights and encounters, maybe a couple of big encounters, just to wrap up some final little touches. But then they at the very end of it, maybe have him go to Egypt. He gets transported there somehow, and that sets up Kratos coming to save him or something like that. That could be a really cool way of setting up the sequel, but I can't imagine that they just send him to Egypt and kind of spoil that big reveal and that first exposure to it, because the first time we step into Egypt as Kratos is going to be amazing. I really hope that they do Egypt, but I'm worried that because they know everybody's expecting it, that they aren't going to do it. Sindri had some real serial killer vibes by the end of the game. Yeah, maybe they do a whole thing with Sindri. Maybe it's like Atreus is going to help Sindri do something because he's going to try to... I guess that's a spoiler. But yeah, maybe Atreus goes and tries to stop Sindri from becoming a monster or something like that. His anger was misplaced, but it's understandable. Like, I understand he's not thinking rationally, but if anybody was in Sindri's position, I think they would feel so much guilt and also just devastating sadness. Like, I can understand Sindri feeling and acting the way he did personally. Still have to finish Ragnarok, but first I'm playing through The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, I came late to the PlayStation world and I'm in its peak. Honestly, that was one of the most fun things I did when I got really into gaming. Like 2016, 17 is when I got my first, I think 2016 was when I got my first PlayStation, and I got my PS4 Slim right before Black Friday. And I got it on a pretty good deal. That was when the mainstay consoles were like $299. So I think I got it for like $299 and it came with Uncharted 4. And that was a whole new world. Like I played Uncharted 4. I was like, oh my God. And then I played The Last of Us. I was like, oh my God. It just kept amazing me. And so that first exposure to that lineup of those amazing games is something I will never forget. A Christian mythology game. I do think it'd be really funny if Kratos and like Jesus had a fist fight. I think that could be really funny. I think that they would get like, people in America would not find that super funny, but I would find it really funny. Maybe it's because I'm biased, but I would love a God of War game set in Celtic mythology. It's one that doesn't really get much exposure. Imagine Kratos fighting banshees and pukas. I actually think that could be really, really cool. There was another one I saw that I thought looked really cool. It was like Lovecraftian stories from like set in the early 19th century or middle 19th century in like England. And I was like, what if they pulled some weird time travel-y BS and got Kratos to like 1860s England, but it's being invaded by like crazy Lovecraftian like fish people. Like it could actually like Cthulhu comes up and that's the final boss fight, is fighting Cthulhu. It could actually be really, really trippy. It's probably not the best fit for Kratos, but if they did a different game around that, I'd be all in. But yeah, imagine Kratos versus Lovecraftian gods. He took my thing.